with all the laws that are existing currently, uh, where do you see, it has progressed to, and what kind of progress you're seeing in future as well, as far as Pakistan is concerned? And do you feel like there are some gaps which also need to be filled eventually?
Yeah. So in terms of progress, I think whatever we have so far is good, because the when something is provided in the law, when there is a system in place for something, the very least that the assurance you have is that you are at least going somewhere with it. For example, with regard to the Workplace Harassment Act, when there is a system provided there, organizations and the ombudsperson, they are bound to follow that. And obviously it is challenging to have these laws implemented, but as I said, it's a starting point. And that at least helps you get your sort of viewpoint there, or something. If it has happened to anybody, they can always approach the legal system. And in terms of gaps, yes, implementation does remain a challenge. Within these sort of bodies which are supposed to be responsible for the enforcement, there can be all sorts of challenges. There is social stigma that comes oftentimes when you uh, engage with this system, and that can really put off some people. I mean, I think I cannot quote direct statistics, but I think the general impression that we have with regard to approaching any formal proceedings when it comes to harassment, and it's particularly bad when there are children involved in it. And so yeah, there's a lot of work that can be done on that end. I would put the system as being on a starting point, that we have started to uh, progress in the right direction, and the next step would definitely be to keep pushing at it and keep trying to uh, have these laws implemented. And something like the Transgender Persons Act, for example, it is a rather unfortunate development that it was challenged and then also struck down by the Federal Shariat Court. And so, for example, there now the hope is that the Supreme Court, looks at it and says that no, it is not. The law should remain in place. So yeah, these are the kind of challenges and progresses. At the time when the Transgender Persons Act came out, that was a big uh, point of progress, because historically, obviously, transgender people have been oppressed, and this kind of recognition coming from the state is very important. um, and nobody can rightfully discriminate them, at least, right? So they have that forum where they can have their voice heard.